Hello students, greeting of the day. Myself Srimati Gitanjali Mahapatra, lecturer in zoology, both Panchayat College, Both. Today I will discuss about the male reproductive system of human being. In this topic we will discuss about the introduction, male reproductive system, testes, epididymis, vas deferens, ejaculatory duct, urethra, penis, accessory glands, semen, sperm path and hormonal control of male reproductive system. Now come to introduction. What is reproduction? Reproduction is a biological process in which the living organisms give rise to young ones similar to themselves. The organ system and the associated glands involved in the process of reproduction constitute the reproductive system. Reproduction is of three types: vegetative, asexual and sexual reproduction. Vegetative reproduction is the reproduction in which it is done by the process of budding, fragmentation, etc. In case of asexual reproduction, no sex organs are generally involved. But in sexual reproduction, the sex organs are involved. This is taking place between the male and female. In human being, the sexual reproduction is found. The male reproductive system of human being consists of the following organs and associated glands. First, scrotum, then testes, retitestes, epididymis, vas deferens, ejaculatory ducts, urethra, penis and accessory glands. You can see the different structures in this diagram. Here you can see the different parts. This is the scrotum. Within the scrotum the testis is present. Then in the side the testis, the retitestis, epididymis, all are present. Then from the epididymis the vas deferens arises. Then the vas deferens, after some time it forms the ejaculatory duct. Then it forms the urethra. Then urethra passes through the penis to outside by the opening that is known as urethral opening. The organs are visible in this diagram. The associated glands or accessory glands help in the process of reproduction. Next come to scrotum. Scrotum, it is a pair of pouch-like sacs called scrotum, hangs between the legs. It is present between the two thighs in case of male. The testes are housed in the scrotal sac. The scrotum consists of two testes. The temperature of scrotum is 2 degrees centigrade lower than the body temperature because it provides an ideal condition for the development of sperm. Then generally the development of sperm requires 2 degrees centigrade lower temperature than the body temperature. So testis is present outside the body, outside the abdominal cavity, where the temperature is 2 degrees centigrade less than the body temperature. Next come to testis. A pair of testes located in the scrotal sacs. Each is attached to the wall of the scrotum by a small fold of tissue called gubernaculum. Each testis is solid, oval in shape, about 4 to 5 cm in length and 10 to 15 gram in weight. The testis develops in the abdomen but descends into the scrotum before birth. Generally, when the child develops within the mother's body, at that time the testis develops in the abdominal cavity of the body, but before birth they descend into the scrotum. If it fails to descend, it is called cryptorchidism. Next, this is the front view of the male reproductive system of human being. In this diagram, you can see the different parts. First come to, this is the testis. They are present in the form of pairs. You can see the testis in the purple color. This is the testis. Then from the testis, this is the blue color. This is the epididymis. Then from the epididymis, the vas deferens arises. The vas deferens of two sides, they are coming from both the directions. They swell. At this point, this is known as the ampulla. After that, the vas deferens connects with the duct of the seminal vesicle. This is seminal vesicle. This is one type of accessory or associated gland which help in the process of reproduction. The seminal vesicle, the duct of the seminal vesicle joins with the vas deferens. Now this is known as the ejaculatory duct. The ejaculatory duct of two sides connect in the middle to form the urethra. The urethra passes through the penis to the outside and opens through the urethral opening. This is the reproductive system of the male. In this structure, you can also see the associated glands. The associated glands are different type. This one is the prostate gland, first associated gland. Then these two are seminal vesicles. Then these two are known as bulbourethral glands. 3. These are in the form of pairs. Bulbourethral glands and seminal vesicles. These are present in the form of pairs, but the prostate gland is single one. It is present in the middle, just below the urinary bladder. Urinary bladder is the part which contains the urine. The urine passes from the bladder through the urethra. This part is known as prostate urethra. Then this part is known as membranous urethra. Then last part of urethra is known as penile urethra or spongy urethra. This is all about the reproductive system of human being. Next come to the testis. We shall discuss about the detailed structure of the testis. The testis is covered by 3 layers. Outer layer is called tunica vaginalis, middle layer is tunica albuginea, and inner layer is tunica vasculosa. The testis consists of a large number of lobules. How the lobules are formed? The tunica albuginea or middle layer of the testis invaginates, forming partition walls within the testis, which divide the testis into 250 to 350 testicular lobules. So each testis is divided into a large number of compartments, room-like structures. These are known as testicular lobules. Next come to seminiferous tubule. Each testicular lobule consists of 2 to 3 seminiferous tubules. So seminiferous tubules are about 750 in number. Generally 750 to 800 etc. In this number, the seminiferous tubules are present in the testis, because each testis consists of 250 to 350 compartments, testicular lobules. Each lobule consists of 2 to 3 seminiferous tubules. These are tubule-like structure. Each seminiferous tubule is lined by a layer of germinal epithelium. The germinal epithelium, the cells of which undergo spermatogenesis to produce the sperm. The cells of the germinal epithelium first undergo mitosis, then by the process of meiosis, they form the sperms. Sperms are the male gametes. Lying among the germinal epithelial cells are found a few large and elongated cells. Those are called Sertoli cells. This is the characteristic feature of the mammalian testis. The Sertoli cells generally nourish the developing sperms and form the blood-testis barrier. The Sertoli cells, they provide nourishment to the developing sperms. They also form the blood-testis barrier, means they do not allow the blood to enter into the testis. So this is known as blood-testis barrier. Then small groups of specialized cells, those cells are called Leydig cells or interstitial cells. These are found among the seminiferous tubules. These cells secrete male hormones. Those male hormones are called androgens. Testosterone is an important androgen which helps in the process of spermatogenesis. Now come to the diagram. In this diagram, you can see different parts of the testis. This is the testis. This is the epididymis. Then this is the vas deferens, which arises from the epididymis to carry the sperms. The sperms are produced inside the testis. They are carried to the epididymis. From there, they are carried through the vas deferens to be released outside the body. Now come to the transverse section of the testis. In this section, you can see these are the seminiferous tubules. In the transverse section or cross section, the tubules are looking rounded or oval in structure. These are seminiferous tubules. The seminiferous tubules are lined by germinal epithelial cell. In this case, you can see this outer layer of cells is known as germinal epithelium. Among the germinal epithelial cells, some elongated cells are found. These are known as Sertoli cells. And among the seminiferous tubules, the Leydig cells are also found. The Leydig cells, in this case, this is the interstitial space. These cells are known as Leydig cells or interstitial cells which secrete the hormone androgen. Next come to retitestis. Seminiferous tubules are closed at the tip. One end of the seminiferous tubule is closed. This is one end of the seminiferous tubule. This is closed. But the other end, it joins to form the retitestis. The other end of the seminiferous tubule, they are joining with each other to form this structure. This is called retitestis. So seminiferous tubules are closed at the tip but join at the other end to form a tubular vascular network. that is called retitestis. Then come to vasa efferentia. Vasa efferentia means about 15 to 20 fine ciliated channels called vasa efferentia arise from the retitestis. This is the seminiferous tubule. This is the retitestis. Then these are the vasa efferentia. They are 10 to 15 in number. The vasa efferentia join to form the epididymis. This is the epididymis. This small duct is vasa efferentia. Next, come to epididymis. Epididymis is formed by the vasa efferentia. Vasa efferentia unite to form a mass of coiled tubules embedded in the connective tissue, that is called epididymis. Now come to the diagrammatic view of the male reproductive system. This is the side view of the male reproductive system. So you can see one side of part of the male reproductive system. So this is testis. This is present in the scrotum. This is scrotum. Inside scrotum the testis is present. Then this is the epididymis. From the lower side of epididymis a duct arises. This duct is known as ductus deferens or vas deferens. It moves in the upward direction, then in the transverse direction, then in the downward direction. Then it swells to form the ampulla. Then it connects with the duct of the seminal vesicle. Both join to form this duct. This is known as ejaculatory duct. This duct opens into the urethra. Urethra is the duct which originates from the urinary bladder. This is the urinary bladder. From here the urethra arises. This is part of the urethra is known as it passes through the prostate gland. So this part is known as prostate urethra. Then this part is known as membranous urethra. Then the last part which passes through the penis, this part is known as the penile urethra. In this way this opens to outside. This is the urinogenital opening of the male reproductive system. You can see the detailed structure in this diagram. Next come to the detailed structure of the testis. The testis consists of a large number of compartments. These compartments are called testicular lobules. Each lobule contains 2 to 3 seminiferous tubules. These are seminiferous tubules. The tubules are closed at the tip and the other end is joined to form the retitestis. This is the retitestis. All the seminiferous tubules join to form a network. This is known as retitestis. From the retitestis 10 to 15 ducts. These ducts are known as vasa efferentia. Now the vasa efferentia form a vascular network. This is known as epididymis. Epididymis has 3 parts. The upper part is known as head or caput epididymis. The middle part is known as body or corpus epididymis. And the lower part is known as tail or cauda epididymis. Now the epididymis, and from the lower side of epididymis a duct arises. This duct is known as vas deferens. The vas deferens passes through the inguinal canal. Inguinal canal means the canal which connects the abdominal cavity with the scrotum. Their canal is known as inguinal canal. The vas deferens passes through this inguinal canal to the abdominal cavity. This is the detailed structure of testis. Now come to the TS of testis. TS of testis contains, these are the seminiferous tubules. They are lined by the germinal epithelial cells. Among these cells, the elongated cells are found. These are called the Sertoli cells. Among the seminiferous tubule, the interstitial cells or Leydig cells are present. These Leydig cells, they secrete the testosterone or androgen hormone. This also contains the nerves, blood vessels, etc. in the interstitial space. In the center of the seminiferous tubule, the sperms are present. These sperms are produced by the process of spermatogenesis. The germinal epithelial cells, they undergo continuous mitosis to produce primary spermatocytes. Then primary spermatocytes undergo meiosis 1 and meiosis 2 to produce the secondary spermatocytes and spermatids. Now the spermatids, they are spermatids. These are the spermatids. Spermatids are converted into sperms by the process of spermiogenesis. The spermatogenesis consists of 2 stages. First stage is known as formation of spermatids. Second stage is known as spermiogenesis. By the process of mitosis and meiosis, the spermatids are produced. The spermatids are converted into sperms by the process of spermiogenesis. They are stored in the middle part of the seminiferous tubule. This is the transverse section of the human testis. Now come to epididymis. Epididymis has 3 parts. Anterior is known as caput epididymis, middle is known as corpus epididymis, and terminal part is known as cauda epididymis. These are the three parts of the epididymis. You can see in this diagram. This is the head part, this is the body part, middle part, this is the tail part. This is known as cauda epididymis, this is corpus epididymis, this is caput epididymis. The epididymis is meant for the storage and maturation of sperms. They gain motility when they are present in the epididymis. Sperms gain motility and fertilizing power while passing through the epididymis. Next come to vas deferens. Vas deferens is a muscular tube which leaves the base of epididymis on each side of the scrotal sac. You can see in this diagram, this is the vas deferens. This is the vas deferens. This duct arises from the lower part of the epididymis. This duct is known as vas deferens. It leaves the base of epididymis on each side of the scrotal sac through the inguinal canal and joins with the duct of seminal vesicle of its side. Just before joining with the seminal vesicle, it becomes dilated to become a small ampulla. Spermatozoa are carried through the vas deferens to be discharged during ejaculation. Next come to ejaculatory duct. The terminal part of the vas deferens joins the duct of the seminal vesicle of its side and enlarges to form the ejaculatory duct. The ejaculatory duct of both the sides open into the urethra or urinogenital canal. In this diagram, you can see the ejaculatory duct. This is the epididymis, from here arises the vas deferens. The vas deferens swells before joining with the duct of the seminal vesicle. This is seminal vesicle. This is the duct of seminal vesicle. Before joining, it becomes swell. This is known as ampulla. Now both connect to form the ejaculatory duct. The ejaculatory duct then goes to form the urethra. This is urethra. Now come to urethra. It is about 20 cm in length. It originates from the urinary bladder and travels through the penis and opens outside at the tip of the penis. It serves as a common passage for the flow of urine and semen. It is often divided into three segments such as prostate urethra, second membranous urethra, third spongy urethra. The prostate urethra passes through the prostate gland. You can see here, this is the urinary bladder. Here the prostate urethra, this is the prostate urethra because it is the prostate gland. It passes through the prostate gland, so this is known as the prostate urethra. Now next part of the urethra, where the ejaculatory duct opens, this part is known as membranous urethra. Then the last part is known as penile urethra that passes through the penis. This is penis through which the urethra passes. This urethra is known as, this part of urethra is known as penile or spongy urethra. In this way, there are three parts of the urethra. You can see in this diagram. The urethra, this is the prostate, this is membranous urethra. Membranous urethra connects the prostate urethra with the penile urethra. This is a very short segment of urethra. Now come to penis. In this diagram, you can see the transverse section of the penis. It is a cylindrical muscular erectile intromittent organ for the transfer of semen from male organ to the vagina of the female. Its main parts are root, the body and the skin. There are three parts are present in the penis. In the previous diagram, you can see the different parts of the red penis. This is the first part, this is the middle part, this is the terminal part. These are the three parts of the penis. This is penis. You can see in the next diagram the transverse section of the penis. The enlarged tip of the genital orifice is known as glans penis. The penis has three parts: root, body and skin. The root is called radix, body is called corpus and the skin. The enlarged tip of the genital orifice is called glans penis. It is covered by a fold of skin called prepuce. The tip of the penis is covered by a fold of skin. That fold of skin is called prepuce. The body of penis is made up of three erectile cords of spongy tissue. In this diagram, you can see this one, first one, second one, and this is the third one. These two are dorsal and this one is ventral. The two dorsal are known as corpora cavernosa. Singularly, it is called corpus cavernosum. These are the two dorsal cords, and another one is this one is the ventral cord. This is single. It is called corpus spongiosum. These cords, they contain empty sinuses and they are filled with blood when the penis is erected. During erection, the blood sinuses are filled with blood. The urethra runs through the corpus spongium. The urethra which carries the sperm, it passes through the corpus spongiosum. The corpus spongiosum, this is called corpus spongiosum, in the middle of which the spongy urethra or penile urethra passes carrying the sperm. This also carries the urine. The urethra runs through the corpus spongiosum to release urine and semen through the genital orifice to outside. Now come to accessory glands. There are three types of accessory glands present in male reproductive system. They help in the process of reproduction and formation of sperms. The first accessory gland is seminal vesicles. These are a pair of convoluted pouches located behind the urinary bladder. They secrete a viscous yellow fluid which forms most of the semen. The secretions of the seminal vesicle is enriched with nutrients like fructose, vitamins, mucose and prostaglandins to nourish and protect the sperms. These substances, they give nourishment and protection to the sperms. The fructose which is present in the secretion of the seminal vesicle is not produced anywhere else in the body. So it is used for the conformation of rape. In this diagram, you can see the seminal vesicle. This is the seminal vesicle. It is the external view. This is the vas deferens. Vas deferens enlarges here to form the ampulla, and this is the seminal vesicle. This is the duct of seminal vesicle. Both the ducts unite to form the ejaculatory duct. This is the external view. This is the internal view of the seminal vesicle. Next come to the prostate gland. Prostate gland, it is a tubular compact gland which encircles the urethra. It secretes a thin milky white alkaline fluid which neutralizes the acidity in semen. The semen is generally acidic. It is neutralized by the secretion of the prostate gland. Enlargement of prostate in older persons obstructs urination. There is a problem in urination when prostate gland swells or enlarges. This condition is called prostatic hyperplasia. Its secretion enhances survival of sperm and chances of fertilization. That means the secretion of prostate gland helps in the survival of sperm and chances of fertilization. So prostate gland is an important accessory gland. You can see in this structure, this is the prostate gland. This is the prostate gland external view. This is the internal view of the prostate gland. These two are the seminal vesicle. They are present on the two sides. This is the prostate gland. Another pair of gland that is known as bulbourethral gland. They are present in the form of pair. This is one. This is another one. The two glands also open into the urethra. Next come to bulbourethral gland. A pair of small bulbourethral glands lies below the prostate and near the origin of urethra. It secretes also alkaline secretion. Its alkaline secretion neutralizes acidity of the semen, then protects the sperms and lubricates vaginal wall during mating. During mating, the vaginal wall is lubricated by the secretion of the bulbourethral gland. It is also known as Cowper's gland. They are present in the form of pairs. Next come to semen. What is semen? Semen is a mixture of sperms and the secretion of associated glands. That means seminal vesicle, prostate gland, bulbourethral gland, these are the associated or accessory glands. They secrete some secretions. When these secretions mix with the sperms, then that is known as semen. Generally, 10 crore of sperms are found in 1 ml of semen. About 2 to 4 ml of semen is discharged at each normal ejaculation. Then sperm bath. How the sperms are moving through the reproductive system? They are generally formed in the seminiferous tubules. Then they pass to the rete testis, then to vasa efferentia, then to epididymis, then to vas deferens, then to ampulla, then ejaculatory duct, then urethra, then urinary opening. Through the urinary opening, they are released outside into the female body during mating. Next come to the hormonal control of reproduction. Hormonal, how the hormones stimulate the process of reproduction, that is known as hormonal control of reproduction. Generally, the gonadotropin releasing hormone, that is otherwise called GnRH, that is released from the hypothalamus, that is present in the brain. the hypothalamus secretion, that is GnRH, initiates spermatogenesis. How it initiates? Generally, this hormone GnRH acts on anterior pituitary gland. Then the anterior pituitary gland, after stimulation by GnRH, secretes LH and FSH. LH acts on leading cells of seminiferous tubules to secrete testosterone. FSH acts on Sertoli cells to secrete androgen binding protein or ABP and inhibin. Androgen binding protein is otherwise called ABP. This ABP concentrates testosterone in seminiferous tubules. So the testosterone can help in the process of spermatogenesis. Inhibin suppresses excess FSH synthesis by negative feedback mechanism. When the FSH concentration increases at that time, inhibin suppresses the secretion of FSH, that is known as negative feedback mechanism. FSH also acts on spermatogonia to stimulate sperm production. In this diagram, you can see the hormonal control of testes. Here, this is the brain. This is the lower ventral part of the brain. This part is enlarged. This is the enlarged view of this part of brain. This part is enlarged to be seen like this. This is hypothalamus. It secretes GnRH. It stimulates the anterior pituitary gland. Then the anterior pituitary gland secretes LH and FSH. They both stimulate the testes to do the process of spermatogenesis. This is the side view of the male reproductive system. In this system, you can see the testis here. In the lower part of this structure, this is the testis. Then this is the epididymis. Then this is the vas deferens. Then the vas deferens comes to form the ejaculatory duct. Then this is the urinary bladder. Then this is the urethra which passes through the prostate gland. Then this is the prostate urethra. Then this is the membranous urethra. Then the last part of urethra is known as penile urethra, which opens outside through this opening. This is known as genital orifice. In this structure, you also see the seminal vesicles. And this is the rectum, where the undigested foods are generally stored and released outside through the anus. Thank you. Have a good day.